to Much Ado About Something.
Good morning. Welcome to Much Ado About Something today. I'm Donna and I'm glad that you're here. You're in the right place if you love lifestyle, budget-friendly home and garden. And of course, there's a lot of gardening going on right now at this time of the year. It's a beautiful sunny day today. We've had a lot of rain in the past few weeks, but it's beautiful and sunny today. So we're going to go out here in a garden and see what we can get into today. I've already got my sunscreen on my face, and I remind you, put your sunscreen on your exposed skin when you go out. Well, I'm going to make a pot of tea this morning. I'm going to go right over here and get the teapot from the tea cabinet, and we're going to see what kind of tea we're going to make this morning. Of course, we've got to have some kind of black tea. It's morning. I've got this beautiful Hello Sunshine mug. And I've got all these delicious teas in this cabinet to choose from. Can't go wrong with a little bit of dandelion tea. And we'll just go ahead and get out this English breakfast tea again. It's one of my favorites. It's up on top. And of course, with morning tea comes a little bit of chatting. I have had a day of rest yesterday. I didn't have anything going on, and I just took a day of rest, which is unusual for me because I like to keep things going most of the time. It was just one of those days when I knew I needed to go ahead and take a rest. I didn't have grandkids yesterday, so it was a time when I could catch up. And so I was trying to do that. I was trying to get rest. I usually work on a calendar or usually schedule a calendar date. So that I can take a little break, because it seems like I won't do that if I don't schedule it in. But now I'm feeling refreshed and the sun is shining. It's shining in that window right there. It's beckoning me to let's get outside and get something done, which we will do that. We will get outside and get something done today. There's things that I've been procrastinating on that I don't think I can put off much longer. I think I'm going to have to get out there and get them done if I want to see the good results that I want to see out from it. We'll go ahead and make this tea, and then we'll head out there and I'll share with you what's on the agenda today. My littles are coming today. My little grandchildren will be here, and so I'm going to save a lot of energy for them. I don't know how many are coming today, but I have the energy stored up always for those sweet little grandbabies when they get here. I'll put them to work helping me in the garden if they want to. They have such a good time out there, especially if there's any watering involved. So we've got dandelion and English breakfast tea in here this morning. That's what I'm having today. Of course, I'll let this steep 4 to 6 minutes. So it'll be a few minutes and it'll be ready to drink. It's looking good. I'm going to slip my garden shoes on. Got my tripod out here. Brought my tea out. And I brought out a product I wanted to share with you. This is called Water Aid, and it improves the water efficiency in your plants when you do potted plants and hanging baskets. It runs around $15. I ordered this from Amazon, and it's a polymer that goes into your plants. And what it does is it actually helps the water not to run around the edge, but to go straight through your pot or your hanging basket. Now this is a gallon jug. This takes just a little bit, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon in this gallon jug of water, and you have to mix it up really well before you add it to your water so that it'll mix to the water and do what you need it to do. So that's what I'm going to work with today as we get out here and plant up some of these pots. I have just let them go too long. So I'm going to set the water right down here on the step, and I'll be working with that today. And of course, there's always plenty to be done, and there's plenty to be done around here right now. I still have not potted this plant, so that's on the agenda today. That has got to be done. I've put it off long enough. Of course, the little plants that we bought to go in these hanging pots and hanging baskets, they're hanging in there. They've had plenty of rain, so they're doing just fine. But I am going to have to get these planted because, I don't want anything to happen to these. I don't want them to dry out or to not get enough nutrients in those little starter pots. The garden's looking good, I tell you. The passion flower vine right here, Passiflora granata, it is doing great. Now it looks small right now, but let me make no mistake, this Passiflora incarnata will fill up this whole bed frame right here. Wow, look at the lamb's ear since it rained. It's really grown. Over here is another section of Passiflora incarnata. That's the purple common passion flower that's native to North America. It's the one that we are most common with. I don't know what's happened to my little Queen Anne's lace, but it's been over right here for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I hope everything is okay down here. I've had little squirrels and a possum out here in the garden. I hope it hasn't dug around the roots of this thing and making it not do well. There are things. I'm going to have to drink some of my tea. My throat is scratchy. All right, I'm just going to have to sit down here for a minute and drink a little bit of tea. Otherwise, my voice will be croaky from waking up this morning. Even though I've washed my face and I've put my sunscreen on, it might be a sunny enough day that I'll need a hat. I may need a hat out here today. It looks like it's going to be fully sunny. Now there's lots of things I want to share with you today. I'm going to fit them in as much as I possibly can. Planting up some of these pots. There are things that did not get done. We did not get that pole right there that has the hanging basket. We did not get it straightened up. You can see it right there. It's still leaning to the side. We didn't get that straightened up because it was raining so much and the ground was so soft. So I may still have to plant that basket and just put it up there hanging not straight until we can get out here and get that straightened up. These two little baskets are straight. They need to be replanted. All of the little hanging baskets that are out here need to be replanted. Oh, and look at right there. Look at that. We got a daylily starting to open up, and it's beautiful. Good morning, Daylily. And there's plenty more that'll be popping out right here. There are blooms on this Pleurisy root. Butterfly weed. Beautiful. They'll be bright orange. This thing has grown by leaps and bounds this year, and I'm glad to see it do that. And there are plenty of coneflowers opening up. Purple coneflower, echinacea. You know, we just had the one last week that's hiding down in here. And with all that rain, we have got blooms that are just busting out. They're looking good. I think what I'm going to do with this basil plant is I think I'm going to put it in this little pot that I've got right here, and maybe even take it inside, because you know I've got some basil seeds planted out back that I'm going to put out here, but I thought that would be beautiful to take it inside. I'll have to clean it up a little bit, and it's already wanting to bloom. So we're going to pinch those blooms off because we don't want nothing blooming when it's this small. That's a sign I've left it in this pot too long. And it smells wonderful. So we've got our little blooms pinched off right there. I'll have to take off some of these leaves that have yellowed. And I am going to plant it in this pot so I can take it in the kitchen and enjoy it. But I'm having to sit here and just enjoy a little bit of tea for a minute so that my throat won't be so scratchy that I can't talk to you. And it is good. It's dandelion and English breakfast tea that my friend Sharon gave me. Thank you, Sharon. Every time I drink this tea, I think about you. Now, we are out here this morning, and it has rained. I want to say it's probably rained about 6 days in a row. And today is a beautiful day. It rained yesterday in the morning, but the rest of the day was pretty clear. But of course, yesterday was my rest day, so I didn't get out here and work, even though I had the itch to get out here and work. I did not do that. I thought, well, I'll just save it all until tomorrow. It's supposed to be a beautiful sunny day. And so I will just save it until tomorrow. And so that's what I did. Now I'll be sipping on this tea off and on all day today. And I think I'm going to step right inside this door and get a hat. Because it's already pretty sunny. And it's fairly early this morning. Let's see. We've got to pick us a good hat. Something that'll cover everything that we don't want the sun bearing down, but not be so big that I can't see to do what I'm doing. So I think this one right here will fit the bill. We'll put our hat on today. We'll get out here and try to get something done. Now, I have done a lot of research on passion flower. Of course, I grew up with passion flower, and I've shared with you on other videos how we used the passion flower that was native to our area. That was the Passiflora incarnata, and when that blooms, I'll be sure to share that with you. Now, I don't know how many blooms are out here on this new passion flower that my friend gave me. Well, it's not actually new. It's 3 years old. It's been growing here for 3 years. But I found out the name of it. And this thing is blooming pretty high up today. I can't really get as close to it as I would like to. But right here you can see how beautiful that flower is. And it's some differences in this flower than the Passiflora incarnata. And this is the Passiflora caerulea. And it is a common passion flower found in our area, but it's native to South America. The Passiflora incarnata is native to North America. So this is our native passion flower, the one you probably see most if you're looking for it in the wild. If you're foraging for it, you'll probably find the Passiflora incarnata. This is the Passiflora caerulea. And here it is. It's just blooming as pretty as it can be. There are a ton of blooms right here that'll be coming out soon. You can see them all over. And wherever you see the blooms, that's where your fruit will be. So I'm looking forward to see this thing fruit this year, to see the differences in this passion flower and the passion flower incarnata, the Passiflora incarnata, the one that I grew up with and the one that I'm used to eating and the one that I usually make the jelly out of. Isn't that thing beautiful? But there's plenty now. There's some that's gone way up into the tree, and I probably won't be able to get those unless they just fall off. But I thought I'd share that with you, that's continuing to bloom. I did research and found out what kind it was, and we're looking forward to see how that thing, what happens with it. Ooh. Look at this. There's some raspberries. These are good and ripe. I'm just going to go ahead and pluck these. So I can get them before the birds. That is almost enough for breakfast. That's a whole handful. Let's go over here and see what we got going on over here. Well, they are looking delicious, but they're not quite ripe over here. Always glad to get a few raspberries. I'll have to go get a little dish to put these in. Here's my little buddy. He's sitting there watching me garden. What a treat to get those little raspberries this morning. Now that'll be enough to go over the top of pancakes or waffles, or to put into yogurt. That'll be quite a bit. And there are the elderberries. My goodness. I'll have to show you the view I have of the elderberries from the window, because when I'm looking out this window and I'm looking down here on these elderberries, I see the tops of these beautiful blooms. And so it looks much more dramatic than it does just me standing out here showing you from the bottom. I'll have to show you that view so you can see how beautiful they are. This is the view from the window. Looking out of the window, this is what I see. See the beautiful elderberry flowers, the ones that you see from the top. And then here's the view that I see from the other window. When the roses are blooming, I can see them from the window. Can see the gardens. I've got you set up pretty close where you can see when I'm pulling out these weeds. Well, they're not all weeds. Some of these are flowers. This is a little weeping cherry tree. These are some mums that are doing okay, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take them out of this pot. Now this little mime is a perfect specimen to go ahead and keep, so I'll put that in a different pot. can clean that one up and keep a little bit of it. So I may just put it to the side. Just go ahead and get all the weeds out of here. And of course, I'll put those in the compost bin. We'll just work this soil up a little bit here. We've got all these weeds out. I'll just work this. The soil still looks plenty good. I can add a little bit to that if I need to. And I can just add food to these plants. It's going to be in this pot. Now I've got this beautiful fern right here. This Japanese painted fern. I just love these. I think they're so beautiful. And they'll get much bigger. And of course they are perennials. So I'm going to put that right in the middle of my pot. And then I've got my lemon thyme right here that I think is so beautiful. It's variegated. And I think it would be beautiful just to hang over right here. And I'll pick a few of those flowers that I got. The begonias. I call these sea roses, but there's a different name for them, but we call them sea roses. Let's see what they're called. Portulaca grandiflora. It's a trailing annual, but we always called these sea roses when we were planting them growing up. And then, of course, here are some impatiens. The impatiens are beautiful. They have beautiful mounding habit, and they're really pretty. And, of course, I got red ones. There's some white begonias. Trying to keep in theme with my little garden color. Not sticking to it strictly, but trying to add some basic colors that'll look good with the color of the house. Now I'm sort of laying out what I want to see in this flower bed. And in this pot that I've got sitting in the flower bed. So judging by what will be growing around this, I've picked out things that I think would be beautiful, and they'll be kind of spotlighted right here in this pot when you come up the sidewalk. So these two are going in here for sure. I'm going to add an impatient or two. And I just go right ahead and lay them out where I want to see them planted. Now these will grow and they'll fill this pot up nicely. They're small now, but when they get started, they will get much bigger. So I'm just going to use 4 of the impatiens. I'll save some of those for the hanging baskets. And I'm just going to take the white begonias. There's white and pink in here, but I'm just going to use the white ones. And I'm going to go in between my impatiens. I might not need any sea roses in this container because It looks like it's going to be quite full enough with what I have here. The little things are a little slick out here where it's been raining. So once I have all of my flowers laid out where I think I'd like to see them, let me just show you right here how I've laid those out. You can see I've put this nice tall Japanese fern right in the middle. I put this creeping thyme, which is lemon. It's variegated lemon, so it'll bring some light and variety, and it'll creep over here a little bit. And then I've got the begonia, the impatient, begonia, two little impatiens, begonia and impatient. So those will alternate red, white, around the pot. And I've got them laying out here. In this pot. And now I'm just going to take my little trowel and go around and plant them where I have laid them out. You know, I like to bring you up close, let you see what's going on here. So far I haven't added any more soil to this because I haven't felt the need to add any more soil. Now this fern, it feels fairly dry in getting it out, even though I've been watering it. Even though it's been out here in the rain, it is fairly dry. Look how root bound this plant is. I'm going to cut the roots just a little bit here so that I can flatten them out and it'll encourage new root growth in this container. I'm going to go ahead and dig my hole. And I will plant this plant just to the top of its crown right here. Just to the top of where it's been in its pot. I'll just plant my soil right up to the top of its crown. I think it's going to love to be in this rich, fresh, rich soil. I think it was more than ready to be transplanted. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this thyme, and you can see it's a good size. It's got roots that are coming out of the bottom of this pot. So I'm just going to take these scissors and snip off these roots. It'll make it easier for me to get it out of this pot. And we have some snails that I don't want in this container. I'm just going to toss those out. Hopefully a bird will find them. And then we've got a little bit more of roots that are bound right here. So I'm just going to take the scissors and just clip a little bit around here, about a third way down this pot. And what this will do, it'll allow me to plant this into the planter like this, and then these roots can make new roots, and they'll fill out in this container much, much faster, much healthier for the plant. And then I'm just going to go around where I've laid out each plant. And try to balance it to the eye so that it'll look beautiful and balanced as it grows. And there we go. It did not take much time at all. It did not take much time to get this beautiful planter planted. Now we're going to mix up we are going to mix our water aid into our gallon jug so that we can pour it into our potted plant. Now I'm just going to take a little bit here. I've got some rainwater that I've caught in this watering can. So I'm just going to add it in here. Make sure I've got enough room to put this back in here. I've got my gallon of water here. Now I cook a lot. I use a lot of teaspoons and a lot of tablespoons. This says use a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon to a gallon of water. So I'm just going to take out a little bit here. Wash off to what I think would be about a half a teaspoon. You can see it right there, and I'm just going to mix that into my little bit of water. Be sure and seal this up really well. It's a gel. It's a clear gel. And what this does is you mix it vigorously to ensure water aid is thoroughly mixed. So we want to make sure we're mixing this vigorously. We'll give it a few minutes there because we don't want to waste our product. We want to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing with this. Let me look in there and make sure I don't see any little pieces floating around. Okay, we've got that vigorously mixed in. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. I don't have my lid for my jug, so I'm just going to put my hand over it and I'm going to shake it for a few minutes. Make sure we got that good mixed up. Now I think we got our water aid mixed into our gallon jug of water pretty good. And now we're just going to pour it over our freshly potted plants. And hopefully this water aid will keep our water from just running around the edges and running out of the pot. It will help the center and the places where we poured it right here around the plants. It'll help them to absorb water and to hold water better. And as hot as our summers get, that'll be exactly what we need. For our container gardens and our hanging baskets. I think when this fills out that it'll be beautiful right here when you're coming up the sidewalk. I think that'll be a beautiful statement potted plant. And of course on the other side here we've got this little tree, this arborvitae. I've got to put these little plants in the compost, but coming up I think that'll be beautiful. Now I'm excited to see that fill out, and I'll be showing you in the garden tours. I'll show you how that's filling out and how that looks, and we may need to amend it somewhere down the road, maybe add something or take something out. And if we do, that's perfectly okay. It won't be that big of a deal, won't be hard to do. Now, I'll be making a separate video on the hanging baskets. I hope you join me for that. Thank you for joining me today. And like always, until next time.